Amara was gone. No calls came in, no messages appeared, and no one seemed to know where she had gone. The house she once filled with quiet warmth now felt hollow, like something important had been taken out and never returned. Tunde walked through each room slowly, his eyes searching for something he could not name. Everything looked the same, yet nothing felt familiar anymore. Her voice was gone, her presence erased, and even the silence she used to carry had disappeared. For the first time, he truly felt it. Not anger, not confusion, but a deep and heavy loss that settled into his chest and refused to leave. Sleep stopped coming the way it used to. Nights grew longer, and the darkness seemed louder. He would sit alone, replaying moments he once ignored, hearing her voice over and over again in his head. "I didn't do it." Those words stayed with him, repeating until they became impossible to ignore. Slowly, regret began to take shape, growing heavier with every passing day. It didn't take long before he finally faced the one person he had been avoiding. Standing in front of his mother, his voice carried a firmness she had never heard before. He asked her a simple question, but it carried the weight of everything that had happened. "Did you do it?" She didn't answer immediately, and in that silence, he already knew the truth. When she finally spoke, her words carried no guilt, no hesitation, only a quiet pride that cut deeper than any confession. She said she did it for him. In that moment, something inside Tunde shifted. The bond he once held so tightly began to loosen, and the respect that had always guided him slowly turned into distance. The house they shared no longer felt like a home, but a place divided by silence and unspoken tension. They lived under the same roof, yet spoke less and less, moving around each other like strangers who no longer understood what connected them. Far away from that house, Amara was learning how to live again. It was not easy, and the pain did not disappear overnight. There were nights she sat alone, remembering everything she had lost, and moments when the weight of it all nearly pulled her back. But she did not break. Instead, she grew. She found small ways to rebuild her life, taking one step at a time, discovering strength in places she never thought to look. With time, her pain softened, and in its place came a quiet kind of peace. Her smile returned, not as it once was, but stronger, steadier, and no longer dependent on anyone else. Back in the life he once took for granted, Tunde could no longer sit still. The emptiness pushed him forward, sending him searching through places that once held meaning. He asked questions, followed small leads, and held on to hope even when it gave him nothing in return. Days turned into weeks, and still, he found nothing. Each failed attempt reminded him of what he had lost, and how easily it had slipped away. Then, on a day that seemed no different from the others, everything changed. He saw her. She stood across the street, calm and composed, no longer the woman who had left his house in tears. There was something different about her now, something stronger, something distant. For a moment, he couldn't move. The world around him faded, leaving only the space between them. He walked toward her slowly, careful with each step, as though any sudden movement might cause her to disappear again. When he called her name, she turned. Their eyes met, and in that single moment, everything they had shared passed silently between them. He spoke first, his voice carrying the weight of everything he wished he had done differently. He told her he was sorry, that he understood now, that he knew he had failed her. She listened without interruption, her expression calm, her presence steady. There was no anger in her eyes, no bitterness in her voice, only a quiet clarity that made her words even more powerful. When she finally spoke, her voice was soft but certain. She told him she had loved him, truly and deeply, but she would not lose herself again trying to prove her worth to someone who could not protect her. Her words settled between them, not as a weapon, but as truth. Tunde stood there, holding on to hope, waiting for something that would change the outcome. But deep down, he already knew. This was not the same woman he once knew. This was someone who had survived pain, rebuilt herself, and learned how to stand without depending on anyone else. And this time, she chose herself. As she turned and walked away, there was no hesitation in her steps, no weight holding her back. The distance between them grew slowly, but with it came a realization that could no longer be ignored. Sometimes love returns, but not in the way we expect. And sometimes the lesson it leaves behind is the only thing that remains.
My mother-in-law thought she had won, but karma has a way of dealing with the wicked. Please follow, subscribe, like, and comment as we unfold more stories.